Now,
Sure.
so Kenneth, I've already introduced you. Is there anything else you'd like to add about yourself before we begin the questions? Yeah.
Not much. I think you've introduced most of it. So basically, I'm from BEAMSTART, and we are a very simple. Basically, it's an app for you to find partners, and we grew from like zero to like close to 200,000 members. About 10% are paying. So most of the growth that we have got, it's not that much compared to many companies, but I think one of the successes we feel that we have is the how we are able to convert a lot of the community to be paid members. And so yeah, we spend very little on marketing, almost probably less than 1,000 ringgit. I'm from Malaysia, by the way, so about less than 300 Sing dollars a month on advertising. And yeah, so maybe I'll just share a little bit about what we have done so far. I'm not an expert, so this is a disclaimer. I'm not an expert in this field. We failed a lot in this area. Tried all kinds of stuff. Many things didn't work. Some things worked. So we just basically condense what we have learned and try to share it with awesome people out there like Renee. Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, looking forward to help in any way possible. Yeah.
right, right. So tell us a little bit more about your community, in terms of profile, in terms of the regions that they're from, and how did you manage to grow your tribe in just 3 years to a community size of close to 20,000? Yeah.
So it's very funny. Like I had a little bit of initial success when I was very young. I sold off two businesses and made quite a bit of money. And so I thought, okay, let's go and explore something new in tech. So what happened was I actually went and angel invest in like 7 companies. All those companies are dead right now. So a lot of lost money. And so in the process of investing in those companies, I realized that, hey, like this tech thing is quite interesting. Maybe I should go start a tech company of my own. And so I started this sort of startup. It's called Gaption, about one half a year before I started Beam, right? And BeamStart. And so what happened was that company also failed. We grew very quickly, but we could not raise enough money. And this whole tech landscape was very confusing. And so I realized a lot of entrepreneurs out there were having the same problems as me. And so that's why I started this whole BeamStart thing. We actually started from running events, and then eventually we brought the events online, and and then it grew from there. So yeah, what was the question again? How we grew to, is it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. How it grew to,
a
yeah,
lot of it.
so much. Yeah.
Did a lot of things that didn't scale in the beginning. So we ran a lot of events. We built a lot of close relationships with the people who attended the events, and a lot of these people were people who spread the word about what we did. So initially, when we started running events, people came to network, they came to learn, right? Kind of like what we're doing here. But a lot of people could not take the experience from the event outside the event. They wanted to network online, right? And many people at the event didn't exchange business cards, and was there a way to reconnect? And so we made this platform for people to reconnect online. And it was very simple. It was just an app for you to chat with people who attended the event, and you could filter people by their expertise or their skill sets. And
Right.
yeah, and so this group of people who came for the event initially, they kind of liked it. So they told their friends, right? And so maybe enough about me, but I guess for you guys, it always starts that way where, um, you know, when you start up anything, you don't really have a presence, right? And so the first few people that you connect with, or the first few friends that you meet through your program or the products that you sell, these people could be your free marketing channels, right? They could be the people who spread the word about your product or service. And so I think Renee is going to ask a lot more questions, but I think
Definitely.
to start off this whole session, um, I think it's very important to begin with the end in mind, which is what is it? Yeah, what is it you guys really want to achieve at the end? and then we work backwards. Since content or digital marketing or all this stuff is just more of the process, right? But I think before we go into the process of doing something, we need to know what we want to achieve at the end of the day. Yeah.
So what sort of content has worked well for you, and what sort of medium did you leverage on to promote those content? I believe you have experimented a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, we've tried a lot of stuff that failed. So when we started out, we started with events, and then we had this online platform for people to chat, right? And so people came to chat with each other after the event. But we realized that after they started connecting, they got each other's WhatsApp number, then they vanished. They didn't come back anymore. And so we were like, oh, we spent all our time building this app, and then nobody is here. Oh, that's not good. So we thought, let's try to add value to this existing community. So we started a blog, right? Today it's a news platform, BEAMSTART News. You can Google it, where we cover business and professional related news. But in the early days, it was just like a blog, right? And what we would do was we would share links of other people's website that are useful, like maybe Inc. or Forbes or Entrepreneur magazine. And sometimes we will include our own content where we will feature entrepreneurs, right? And in the process of featuring entrepreneurs, we realized, hey, like, wow, when I feature this entrepreneur, they tell all their friends that they got featured, or they share the post, And so I thought, oh, this is quite interesting. Like, it doesn't cost us anything to write about people, and we got free traffic from there, and eventually some of these people that we featured. When they got slightly more popular, other people were searching for them and our article came up, right? And so they eventually ended up joining our app or reading our blog. And so in the early days, this was like maybe 3 years ago, I realized that, wow, like blogging was sort of on the decline, right? No one was blogging as much as they were before. Everyone was social media marketing, but there was room for quality content in the form of a blog fashion, right? You could write articles for people, but everyone out there was writing an article just to promote themselves, right? Everyone was just pushing their stuff. And so we thought, hey, why don't we do something that could help people with our blog, right? Why not feature more entrepreneurs? And so this blog eventually became like an interview blog where we started talking to, more prominent people, like maybe some successful entrepreneur, and we interview them, and it was cool. They will share the post, and some of them even sign up on our app. So the value of the community went up because they joined. And so, we thought, wow, this is really interesting. And one day, a guy we interviewed was like saying, hey, you guys are news. Are you guys a news company or something? And I was like, I never thought of it that way. Why not build a news company? So, you don't have to start with something really big, right? You don't have to do like a lot of content and try 100 different platforms. You could just start with one thing that really brings value to people, right? And so at that time, when we started this whole content thing for us, we just wanted people to have good articles to read about business, right? And we wanted to like put people out there, people like entrepreneurs or startups who didn't get much exposure, and since we have a community, we could promote them, right? And that was just how it started. And now looking back, it brought us a lot of friendships. It also brought us a lot of credibility. So yeah, content can be used for a lot of things, but we need to know what we want to achieve at the end. And so for us back then, we just wanted people to stick to the platform more. We wanted to create more value for people.
Sure.
Yeah.
So how should brands communicate themselves differently to differentiate themselves? I mean, if they're selling B2C products, for example, bags, or we have someone from printing company, how should they communicate their brands differently? Who should they be writing about, or what should they be writing, right? What do you think?
Yeah. So I guess that's a good question, right? Like, how do you communicate your brand differently to people compared to other brands? There's a lot of brands. What makes you different, right? Well, aside from the product being different, let me think. well, what is branding ultimately, right? I mean, the question at the end of the day is what really is branding about, right? What's the difference here? So to me, I think branding is what people say about you, right? And if you do something and you do it consistently long enough, you sort of develop an understanding with people, your audience, right, or your customers. So yeah, you know, like there are a lot of brands that sell shoes, right? You could be a brand that sells shoes, where hey, I sell shoes, or you could be like Nike. Nike sells shoes, but Nike is not about shoes. Nike is about athletics. It's about honoring great athletes, right? That's what Nike is about. It's about pushing the impossible. It's about honoring great athletics and athletes. Oh, and by the way, they wear the shoe, right? So um, there is always a story behind a brand, even if the brand is small, right? And so what's the story here? What's the cause here? There's always a cause, right? That's why when you oh, I'm from Malaysia, but like you look at all these Thai advertisements. There's always some really emotional story behind the insurance company. We care, but
Yeah.
there is always this element of storytelling
Mm.
behind a brand, right? And so many companies start out as sales, right? Oh, let's sell shoes. And then eventually they start making a little bit of money, and then they start saying, hey, we need to reach more people. We can't just directly sell to people. So they start thinking of ways to market themselves, right? So, hey, we have this special offer, hey, we have this discount, hey, we got coupon, we are on Chop or whatever. But eventually, you know, um, what breaks them, what breaks that glass ceiling of price, right, is really trust, right, and credibility, and story. So they start investing a lot in branding. So like influencers start speaking on their show, or like popular people start wearing their product. They burn billions on this, but probably they don't sell anything in the short term, right? But the long-term value is incredible. So I think so far everything I've been talking about is not so much on marketing or like content, but more on the psychology behind people, right? And it's not that complicated. Why would people buy your product, right? And start from there. So if you're selling, say, shoes, right? Well, everyone could buy a shoe, but if you're trying to sell an expensive shoe, then only a certain group of people could buy it. Um, why would they buy it, right? So we got to begin with the end. What is it you want to achieve? Okay, you want to sell shoes, an expensive shoe, cool. Okay, who would most likely want to buy this shoe, right? Who are these people, and what would they resonate with, right? What are the messaging that will make them want to buy the shoe? And so we work backwards, and then we start crafting up a message or a campaign uh, to these people. Excuse me. Oh, there's some questions in the chat. Okay, we'll get to them later. But yeah, um, yeah. I can't hear you, Rennie. You're like mute. Are you on mute? Or there's no sound on your mic?
Okay, multitasking because we've got someone who entered the room. Okay, so quick question. How can one leverage on technology to grow their leads faster and in a very cost-effective way, right? I mean, if you generate content, you got to write content. There's only so much content you can write in a day on top of all your, business activities. How can we leverage on certain technology to grow the followers, the leads faster and more cost?
Right. So I'm going to use a little bit of jargon. Okay. There is 3 stages in a funnel. You might want to take notes on that. There are 3 stages in a funnel. So like I said, this is a funnel. You have the first layer, which are people who probably they don't really trust you, right? It's just awareness. You created some awareness. They saw something about you, and then what's this? They're just curious. They just landed upon it, right? Um, Facebook is a very good place to get awareness. You can post up a post, or post on LinkedIn. You could probably boost the post or whatever. You get awareness, right? And sometimes the people who are aware of what you do, they fall into the second category of the funnel, which is consideration, right? Consideration, meaning they're aware about you, they know about you, right? And you know they're considering you. They think that maybe what you're selling makes sense. They think that I need to find out more information, right? And then of course the last category is conversion, right? Which is they finally decided to buy from you, or they trust you enough to buy from you. And so usually, businesses have a few problems, right? First is people don't know you, right? And then of course, if they know you, sometimes they don't like you, right? And even if they do like you, they don't trust you, right? And usually, if you can get to the stage of getting them to like you and trust you, there's a high likelihood they will buy from you. But there's a fourth problem, which is do they choose you, right? For example, there is Singtel, M1, and StarHub. They're all great companies and we all trust them. They're all telcos. We know they're big, they're billion-dollar companies. But why do some people choose Singtel, right? So I know that didn't really answer the question, which is how do you get leads, right? But um, it always starts that way. What is it you want to achieve, right? So if your goal is, say, leads, there are many kinds of leads. There are leads that are just awareness. They land on the thing, they fill out a form, and then they join your mailing list, but they're not going to buy anything, right? And then there are leads that, they already know you very well, and then they join again because they know you, right? So for example, maybe you guys already know Renee, you're part of a mailing list, and when she sends you an email, you don't block the email. You're like, oh, okay, Renee sends me something useful, so I'm going to click, right? And so lead generation, there are a lot of ways to get leads. I mean, it could be word of mouth. You could post up a blog on social media. You could spam your friend's wall. I don't know. There's a lot of things you can do to get awareness, right? But lead generation to me, or if you talk to most internet marketers, right, there's something called qualified leads, right? Which are people who you have evaluated their intent of interest, right? So this is like where Google comes in. Why Google search is so valuable is because the people who land on your website from Google, they clicked from a search, meaning they were already searching. There's already a consideration element. There's already an intent to buy, right? And because they already had an intent to buy, the conversion rate is dramatically higher than, say, a boosted post on Facebook where people didn't really know whether they wanted it or not. So you got to find out what is it you want to sell, right? So for example, if it's a product that, say, like a shoe or makeup or some consumer product, oftentimes people don't know that they want to buy that, right? Maybe they didn't know they want a shoe, right? Or maybe they forgot they wanted a shoe, and then they're scrolling Facebook and, oh, there's a shoe, okay, interesting. So maybe I want to buy this, right? So that's discovery, right? Things that people didn't really realize they wanted, or you could spark their interest, or there's a time element where, like an event, like, oh, last day tomorrow, if you don't come now, then too bad, like that kind of thing. Then there is another group of people who you need to educate them about the product, right? So like B2B stuff or training or like some sort of education. People are probably searching for something they want to know, and then they land on you. So Google search might be very useful for this, or LinkedIn search. You could write a video or make a video, upload it on YouTube, put in some keywords. So if you're an educator, right, and you teach people about, say, I don't know, like how to do Forex trading or something like that. So you can upload a video teaching people how to start and put it on YouTube, right? Because there's obviously less people uploading videos of Forex than people writing about Forex. So these are some free ways that you could probably get some lead generation. I'm kind of a cheapskate and very lazy, so I don't really like to spend money on advertising to get leads, unless I know that whatever I'm selling will have a high demand. So for example, one of the campaigns we did recently was we were trying to help SMEs go online, right? I was helping a friend promote his digital agency. And so what we did was we did content. We wrote an article about what they were doing. And we told everyone that well, my friend is running a digital agency, helping people do social media and all that. There's nothing sexy about that because there's 100 or thousands of agencies out there. So we crafted this story saying that, well, this agency wants to save SMEs from, dying this COVID-19, right? And a lot of SMEs resonated with that. Oh, yeah, I might die soon, and there was a free, they gave out something free, which was free marketing. So what the deal was that they will do free marketing for them, but in exchange they will make money on the technical solutions that they sold. Like if they set up your Facebook page and you need to pay them to do the management, then that was how they would make money. But the angle of the story was that, oh, this company, iPrima, was out to save SMEs, and they're going to give them free marketing and free assistance, but after that, all these guys sign up for the leads, and then they schedule a call, and then they could build credibility through the call. And then some of them actually bought a website. Some of them actually paid them to manage their social media because they were too busy to manage it, right? So to answer the question in a simple sentence, I guess it's not hard to get lead generation because you can just post it anywhere. What's more important is to find out how you can get qualified leads, right? And if you want to get leads, you can just create very simple content like a video, put it on YouTube, or an article, put it on Facebook, and just boost it, right? There's a lot of good content that people don't see, so getting people to see it is important. So
Okay.
most of the time, people don't. I think most of the time, people don't become your lead because they just don't know that you exist. So it's a numbers game. At the end of the day, you need to increase the reach.
The reach,
how many people actually
the
see
presence, the visibility, and you got to be consistent. It's not like you're out today and tomorrow they don't see you ever again, right? So let's head on to our Q&A segment. We've got a question here. If you can you tell us more about the segments of people that you're able to reach through Facebook, LinkedIn, and other media, etc.? And how about building content around people's needs? Will this make your content more effective? So that's the question in the chat. The rest of you who wants to ask questions, feel free to add your question into the chat. Thanks. So Kenneth, do you have any ideas for this? Yeah.
I was going to say something, but I forgot. It's okay. It'll come back later. Well, I think everyone can sort of agree that almost everyone is on Facebook except hipsters who want to say that, I don't want to share my data with anyone, so I don't want to use Facebook. But most people under the age of 40, I think, are on Facebook, right? And most people under the age of 30 are definitely on Instagram, right? And both of these platforms are owned by Facebook. So you can actually advertise to these people directly through Facebook's advertisement system, right? I think there are a lot of articles you can Google on, the cost of advertising between platforms. So I don't really know the cost, but there are a lot of people who have done research, like how much does YouTube cost or how much does Facebook cost, right? So anyway, what segment of people? So, well, obviously Facebook has a broad mix, right? Because Facebook is an entertainment platform today. Everyone just goes there to hang out, right? So you get a lot of people. There are a lot of advertisers there. And so the problem with Facebook, in my opinion, is that you have to have, well, the content on Facebook has also improved a lot, right? Like when Facebook first came out, it was just a status update, like a text, right? And then eventually they have images, and today there's like, I don't know, there's so many kinds of content, and the level of the content is crazy. Like, some of these people make really entertaining videos. And so in order to cut through all those noise, you need really good content sometimes, or, something that's very catchy to the eye, right? And so on Facebook, everyone is there somewhat. Most people are there regularly, almost once a week. But I think people there are becoming more desensitized, where they're immune to ads, right? So your ads have to be very catchy. And Facebook, they have a way to measure this, right? They have a way to measure the effectiveness of an ad. So how do they measure this? They measure this by engagement, right? if you post a video and people watch it very long, Facebook feels that, okay, this is a good piece of content because people are watching it longer than average. So they distribute it further. And so Facebook's algorithm charges advertisers less for quality content, right? So what I see a lot of, like, when people just start jumping into Facebook or online marketing, they start promoting themselves very quickly. Oh, I'm selling this, and then they straight away boost the post, right? And so Facebook's algorithm knows that, oh, okay, this thing is like shit content, right? It's like not bringing any value. He's just trying to sell his stuff. So they distribute it less, and the price shoots up a lot more. So yeah, just one thing to take note of with regards to advertising on Facebook. But if it's back to, say, free content, well, everyone has friends on Facebook. So, posting good quality content on Facebook is I think very important, right? And what defines good content differs to everyone, but I think fundamentally, um, what is value to people, right? So if, let's say, you are uh, teaching people how to trade stocks, let's say, you want to maybe focus more of your content surrounding your industry. You don't want to post 10 different things every day, like one picture of a cat, one picture of a dog, then picture of Forex. You want to maybe like be consistent a little bit with your content, so that people know you as, oh, this person does stock, right? And, post content that people want, right? Not so much of content that you want to share, but more of content that people could benefit from. So if you're teaching stocks, let's say, you could share a little bit about the market sentiment. Oh, do you know, guys, oil just crashed to zero, that's not stocks, but yeah, oil just crashed. This is probably going to affect the oil industry in a certain way. These are my thoughts. There's value in the content. And so people, eventually, after a while, people will go, this person is interesting. I like the content. I'm not going to unfollow this person, or I'm going to want to see more of their content. So if you really like online marketing, or you want to get into online marketing, I recommend this guy. His name is Neil Patel, Neil. I'm going to type in the chat. He's an Indian guy from the States. Brilliant guy. If you want to learn any related, like tech related marketing, like how to set up Google, SEO, all this kind of stuff, right? All the technicalities. This guy's blog is brilliant. He has pretty much everything. Yeah. And if you visit his page, right, you can just like try to be like him, right? Like learn from how he does things. Every post he does is free. Every video he makes is free. He's not selling anything, and everything he sells is like high quality. Like the articles he writes is like 5,000 words, there are pictures, it's very easy to read. You can clearly see that this guy put a lot of time into his work. And yeah, okay, maybe not all of us have a lot of time, but he definitely started from the standpoint of how can I bring value to people, right? And that was how he started. Of course, like LinkedIn and other media. So LinkedIn is more B2B. We all know that. LinkedIn has a lot more active users in high spending markets. So it's a great place to promote services, in my opinion. Yeah, Facebook's not such a good place for services. Google advertising is, of course, also very good for services. It's just that you don't get the burst of, you don't get speed, right? Like if you boost a post on LinkedIn, you can get people interested in your service right away. But if you put an ad on Google, it might take you a while before people start searching for it. So Google is more of a long-term investment, and LinkedIn is maybe more of a shorter-term investment. YouTube, I think, is great if you do video content. I love YouTube because YouTube gives you, there are not many video platforms out there where people search for videos. Most people just go and browse videos like YouTube, like Facebook, Instagram. People are just scrolling. They're not searching. So meaning you can get intent related leads, people who are searching for something through YouTube, right? And there are ways where you can actually sort of like dominate that particular search category. So like, let's say you're teaching people stocks, but if you go niche, like maybe like you're teaching stocks using trend lines, let's say. So you could create videos specifically on trend lines and stock trading that is free, right? And there are people out there searching on how do I draw a trend line, and trade stocks. And they're searching for a video on it. And because you're the only one, or there's only 10 people doing it, and you're one of the 10, that's like much higher likelihood of your stuff being discovered than, say, putting it on Google or a website or Facebook, right? So yeah, I'm sure there are a lot more platforms out there, but these are the few that, I mean, Instagram is more of youth, right? Instagram is all about visual, so shopping, e-commerce is great there. You can put a very beautiful picture of your food. If you run a restaurant, people click on the food because, wow, it looks delicious. I saved the page, and then maybe one day when the whole circuit breaker is over, they want to go there, right? Yeah. So it's important to know what you want to achieve and then work backwards, and then maybe just start with one platform first, and measure. Always measure. Everything should be data driven, meaning you should track the effectiveness of what you do, right? Are people clicking it? Are people seeing it? No, then try another platform. Oh, people click it here. Okay, spend more time here, right? And if they don't, then stop wasting our time on stuff that doesn't work. Yeah. So maybe spread it out over like 5 experiments every 3 days, So you post a post on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and do that over 3 days and then measure. Are people clicking it? If you don't have a way to measure clicks, you can use like bit.ly, bit.ly. I think everyone knows that. It shortens your links, and it also tracks who clicks on the link. So that's good. You know whether there's a interest in this. Yeah.
So any other questions, please add into the chat, please, if you have any other questions. And one question, since we don't have other questions, would be...
There's one here.
There's one?
How about building content around people's needs, right? Okay, so first of all, I realized that a lot of content on Facebook, or a lot of content that I come across are just, I don't know what is it. It's not really readable. It's not friendly for humans, right? So we never forget that you are serving people and not Google SEO, right? You don't stuff a lot of keywords in your article, and you don't put a lot of jargon in your article.
I think the mistake most people make is that they outsource the article writing. So instead of the industry person writing the article, they probably outsource to a ghostwriter, for example. And the ghostwriter will probably, their job is to help you increase SEO. That's what we see. And they're not professionals, right? They're just ghostwriters. And they say, okay, these are my keywords. And then they just write things in which you just have the keywords, but it doesn't make sense. It doesn't engage with the audience at all, right? That's what I noticed.
Well, a lot of content that is digested today are from mobile, right? Facebook. Like articles are mostly LinkedIn and Facebook right now. So when you're scrolling a feed and then you see a content, right? You click on it. How many people actually read beyond the first paragraph? It's very unlikely. So first of all, why would people even click it, right? And then of course, second of all, why would people stay to read it? So first of all, obviously, you want to invest more time in making the article more clickable. So use a nice picture. Maybe use a brighter picture with something that is more catchy to the eye. Some people say it's very clickbait, right? Facebook will block articles that are clickbaitish. Okay, what are these articles that are clickbait? Meaning articles that they have a very vague title, like this thing happened to this guy. You only know when you click on it. So that's very good because people will click it. But the problem is Facebook can detect that, oh, this is clickbait. Why? Because no one stays on the article, right? They click, they open it up. Oh my God, it's crap. And then they just close the article. So ultimately, you want to make your article very, your content easily discoverable by visual content. Everything's visual on Facebook today. Make it visual, right? Use a very nice cover picture. I'm sure there are like platforms like Canva or something you can make something nice. And of course, keep the article simple, right? I believe that we don't go by paragraphs anymore. As in, you don't write a paragraph of 4 sentences. You write a sentence per paragraph. So because on mobile, the screen is constrained to a vertical screen, right? So you want to make it very easy to read on mobile. 70% of traffic comes from Facebook on mobile right now for us. And so if your article is like 8 lines or 9 lines long and I can't make up what it is, I will close the page, right? People just don't have time or attention span anymore because they're bombarded every day with new stuff. So make things very visual, very human, and very simple. Use simple words. Like in the startup community, they like to use a lot of very complex jargon, and people don't get it. And then they either skip the article, or when they read it, it's like, oh, I don't understand, then they close it. And then, you lose the reader reaching all the way to the end of the article where you have your call to action there. So in my opinion, I mean, this is what we have done so far. It's worked. Uh, we do news, right? I mean, we also write normal articles, but our articles are very short. One paragraph, one sentence, very easy to read on mobile. And if we have a call to action, right, which is like sign up for a link or whatever, we put it at the top of the page and at the bottom of the page, sometimes even in the middle of the page, right? Because the likelihood of them clicking on the thing at the bottom is almost like 10 times lower than on the top. So make it simple, make it readable, make it visual, right? And so what we also do is we will do like every 2 paragraphs, we put a picture or something easy to read. It feels very, this is for articles, right? If it's for video, right? I mean, you don't have to make a very amazing video in terms of production quality. You can make a very simple video from your phone, but keep the videos short. When I see a video 15 minutes long, oh Jesus, like I'm not gonna click on it. Like it's gonna take me too long to read it or watch it, right? So maybe make the video shorter, so you can share it on more platforms like Instagram, But at the same time, tell people what the video is about, right? There are many times when I see a picture, like the cover picture of the video, I can't make up what the video is about, right? So if you see some of these really quality videos out there, they actually put a title on top of the video, like this lady got slapped, and then like we're like, what is this, and then we click on it and then we start watching it, and then in the first 5 seconds they actually capture your attention. So we're living in this world now where attention span is very short. So your content has to be directed around it. And it's even worse for millennials. They have literally zero attention span right now. You need like, you only have like 2 seconds to make an impression on the internet right now. So that 2 seconds has to count. Yeah.
Interesting. Right. I mean, to answer the question also about building content around people's needs, my point is that, okay, we all sell products or services. The content should not be just directly at, it's not about the product and service only, right? But about the behavior or the what the audience really like to read. So say, for example, right, people who wear Rolex, they love golfing, or people who are like a certain group, like the treasury group of the banks, for example, right? They are like the top-notch group of people who are being served. Okay, if you continuously push content related to just the product, then they're not going to be engaged. So therefore, these brands regularly provide contents related to things that they like. So about golfing, about premium places to go to dine, what are some of the more high-end wine for you to enjoy and things like that. So things that not just what they need, but what they like to read about. I think that's really important. Okay, that's my point of view. There's one question from Calvin about for YouTube videos. Is there any way to make it more searchable via Google, etc.? What do you think,
Right.
Kenneth?
Well, Google automatically ranks YouTube videos on their search. In fact, it's higher up in their search because, well, Google is very smart, right? Why would they want to give you traffic when they can keep all the traffic, right? And so Google in the past, right, it was like a directory, you search for something and then the top result comes up. But Google over the years, they realized that, when people search for, say, shoes, right, in the past, maybe Nike comes up. But today, Google is a lot smarter, right? They have all the AI stuff going on there. So now when you type shoes, they're like, oh, this guy's looking for not just one type of shoe. He's looking for all kinds of shoes. So they show you Wikipedia, what is a shoe? They send you all the Lazada, Shopee, all the different, and they put it on the top of the first ranking, meaning the guy who used to be number one is no longer number one. What's above number one now is all of Google's, they call it rich cards. And so sometimes YouTube appears there if there's relevance to the keywords. So a lot of people, they do research on keyword analysis. Like This is a bit more technical. You can probably read on that Neil Patel guy, but the summary is that you want to find things that people are searching for often that very few people have created content for. And so Google has tools like Keyword Planner, Keyword Volume. You can measure the volume of a search term. So if let's say I type make money online, that's like billions of searches every month, and everyone is fighting to be number one there. So let's not waste time trying to fight with them, right? But maybe there are people typing make money, drawing trend lines on stock market. I don't know, something very niche, right? But the volume of search is still high enough, like maybe 3,000 searches a month, an average of maybe 100 a day, right? And these are people searching. And if you're number one, there's a very high likelihood that maybe 20% of the time they'll click that link. And so how do you know there are a lot of people competing with you is when you search for those terms and you see the number of results that come out, and the number of results are not many, or the top 10 results are like some random links, you don't think they're very high quality links. If you created good quality content, you might actually be ranked above them because Google will prioritize those content. Same with YouTube, but of course it's very hard to actually, people have been trying to game Google's system for a very long time. Even like back then when I first started, we were trying to find ways to hack Google's SEO. But fundamentally, I think it's not about trying to game Google. It's all about how can you create content that people like. Google ranks things by relevance and popularity, right? Google wants things to be up there for humans. It's not for Google, it's for humans, right? And so at the end of the day, Google measures a lot of things. Like when you click on the link, when I search for something and I click on that thing, how long do I stay on the website? So Google will measure, oh, okay, I click on this guy, number one, the first result, and he only stayed on the website three seconds. The second guy stays on the site, 20 seconds. So, hey, maybe number two is better than number one. So they'll push number two to the top, right? So they do this all the time. So at the end of the day, you have to make content that has value for humans. And ultimately, if you want to have a metric for success, it's how long they stay on the content, right? So you can if you have a website, you can put Google Analytics on it, and you can see how long it takes before they bounce off your site, which means how long they take before they leave your site. Try to create things in such a way where the likelihood for people to stay is higher. Yeah. And well, never mind. Let's not go there. Yeah.
Right. I think it's about finding the areas in which you want to dominate in. What is the niche that you want to dominate in? Okay, so that the content that you create, be it your YouTube videos, be it your content on your blog or social media, they become more searchable. So you're right, like what Kenneth said, it depends on the keywords, right? It's highly competitive. All of your competitors are using the same words, and how you're going to dominate in that space. It's not that, it's not searchable, but because there are just too many competitors. So you got to find that niche, all right, in order to dominate in. Yeah.
Ultimately, maybe to summarize everything so far, because there's a lot of like tech related points, right? There are a lot of free platforms that you can use right now. Start with one and keep things simple. Make your content for humans, as in structure it easy to digest.
Yeah, and be as authentic as possible, right? What do you think?
But yeah, ultimately, this is something I think not so much on tech or how to do marketing, but more on psychology, right? I love psychology, so I think any good marketer should invest some time into reading psychology books. So how many of you know MLM, right? Everyone sort of hates MLM people, right? But MLM people, right? Let's say they do Amway or whatever, right? Amway is an e-commerce, right? Amway is technically e-commerce. Or whatever. Most of the network marketing companies are selling e-commerce related products online, right? But yet people hate them. I don't get it, right? So why? Why is that the case? Whereas Lazada, everybody loves Lazada and Shopee. Okay, how is that any different from the MLM company? It's also e-commerce. Well, the difference is the approach, right? people hate being sold to, right? No one likes being pushed something. You need to buy this. You should buy this. People like buying. People hate being sold to. So the psychology here is that you got to create desire, right? You got to figure out how to create desire. And it's not, do you want to make a lot of money? The market's going to crash. If you don't do anything now, you're going to die. That's what all these idiots are doing. Sorry, don't mind my language, but I mean, there are a lot of people who are desperate who will buy into this stuff, right? But you will only reach those people which are, in my opinion, more gullible, and you end up probably they also don't really know what they're doing there, and then you might not gain any success from that program because these people are not willing to put in the effort to learn, so you reach this kind of audience which are low retention audience, and they're jumping from one thing to another thing, right? So fundamentally, you want to create desire, right? And your story is all about desire, right? So like what Renee said earlier, if you're selling a watch, Rolex, you want to talk about life and style. You want to talk about the best places to dine. And then the guy eating, maybe you can have a picture of his watch, one of the, and the art of creating desire is that I don't care if you buy it, people will buy it, right? It's that the value of the product is already high. Like whether or not you come to me, people will come to me, because I know what value I'm bringing to the market. It's only all these people who don't know the value of what they're selling, or they know that they're selling something that is sort of low quality, like some ebook or some really really crappy product, and that's why they got to hype it up. But true value, well, you still need to market it, but the way you market it does not require a lot of push. Like Apple's marketing is that today we're introducing iPhone whatever, beautiful design, it's a dream to, it's like wow, it's like, how do you sell a square cube to people, with a screen? But that's how they do it. Everyone else is selling a phone. Apple is selling an experience. They're selling a dream. You can express yourself. You can touch your music. Like wow, okay, you can touch your music. What is that? I don't even get what that means. But okay, but people relate to it. It's like blasphemy in a way, but it makes people feel that it's great, right? So the feeling of great, it's a great product. So if you're in education, you don't want to tell people why you're the best, just share what you've learned, right? And share it in a way where it inspires people to take action, or inspires
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I think your point also brings me to the idea of building brand equity, because it's not about people buying now, today. You do an ad, you do a content, you expect people to buy today. I don't think that should be the mindset, but rather you're building the brand equity such that people know you, and when they need it, they come to you. They know where to go to, where to
Yeah,
hunt for you to buy. I think
absolutely.
that's the point, right?
Yeah, and you should work very hard in spreading yourself to more places, right? I notice a lot of like salespeople or people doing consultancy, or they have very limited reach. They're always reaching to the people around. Let's say you sell insurance, right? They are only reaching to the people around them, their friends, their warm network, or maybe to some degree BNI, but there is a broader world out there, right? And I mean, let's put it this way: like insurance is one of those things that people, like MLM, right? People cannot stand insurance sellers sometimes, but insurance is something everybody needs. Isn't that funny, right? Something that there's 7 billion people on the planet, everyone needs insurance, right? Why is it no one wants to buy it? It's because no one understands it. And so the best insurance agents, obviously they develop relationships, but they educate their market. They create desire, maybe sometimes out of fear, but they create desire for a product, and by educating people about, did you know that you're just setting aside a small savings that if anything should happen, then this actually protects you in certain areas. But I mean, everyone's pitching the same thing. I'm not a good insurance seller, but you got to make people understand the value of the product. And many people, you'll be surprised, a lot of people don't even understand what insurance is. Yeah, I'm like the younger people, like they just came out to work, and then suddenly all their friends are selling insurance, right? They will always start something like, oh, what is your insurance currently? What is your insurance? package, or what are you buying now? We can do an assessment for you for free. And then I'm trying to understand like what is an assessment, like even the most basic level understanding of insurance is close to zero because no one at that age knows it. So you got to educate them where, there are a bunch of companies out there who want to protect people. I like to think that insurance was created for the greater good. Okay. So there are a bunch of companies out there that want to protect people, and it's better if everyone suffers a little to help one person who suffers a lot, right? And so if everyone just contributed $100 a month, one day if someone really needs help, right, that pooled money could be used to help him. So if let's say 10,000 people put in $100, that's $1,000,000 that could be used to help someone who might need it urgently next time. That's what insurance is about. So this insurance company is brilliant because what we do is we take that money and we reinvest it while things are okay. And we reinvest that money into things that have high growth or whatever, so that if anyone gets hurt, we can actually compensate them a lot more, in the long term, for that guy, and for a small amount of monthly commitment, So when you put in $200, yeah, it could save you, but more important than that is you could save someone else, right? And I think people buy into that kind of a story, where, oh, I'm not just doing it for me, I'm doing it for for the greater good. I don't know, it sounds a bit manipulative here, but I think education is something that's lacking in a lot of things, right? A lot of people are trying to sell without educating, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe that is the content step, right? Content should be used to educate and inspire. Yeah.
So we've got another question about using news as a hook to your content. For me, I think it works, provided that the news is fresh from the oven as well, and it's timely, and you leverage on that news, and and that's the way to market. Maybe just give you an example, top of my recall. I remember that there was a case, right? It was a sensationalized news where this expat, he took his kid, he went to the MRT train, right? And he gave comments about, we put our car, because that time they placed their car in the workshop, and they had to take the train, and they made some nasty comments, and it went viral. I'm not sure if you guys remember that incident. And Scoot took that opportunity. It was sensationalized, and they were on the news, everything, and they created an ad leveraging on that news, and they said, scooting away, let's get out. And they don't, of course you can't feature their faces, right, in that ad. So, but they drew the silhouette of the family, the couple and the kid scooting away to Australia, because in fact they did, right? So they took that opportunity to promote that travel to Australia. That's where they went as well. So leveraging on news as a hook to your content can sell if you use it wisely. You got to be really careful, because sometimes it's just sensitive news sometimes, so you got to be careful. So I don't know, Kenneth, what's your point of view on that? And she mentioned about people using COVID-19 to market their products. How do we know enough is enough? What's your point of view? Yeah.
I feel you. I totally understand. My Facebook has gone from entertaining to annoying right now. Well, one part of it is like, yeah, these people are just pissing me off because they just keep posting stupid stuff about COVID-19 and trying to sell something. But at the same time, you could look at it from a positive angle, which is these guys are doing something right in a way where they are smart to leverage on this opportunity, right? I mean, there's a lot of people who are suffering from COVID-19. They're desperate right now, and they are using this as a marketing opportunity. Personally, for me, I think it's a good opportunity to leverage on, because in every crisis there is an opportunity, right? But it's just more on the approach, right? So COVID-19 definitely is a problem to a lot of people, and if your solution can solve their problem, I think it's good to leverage on it, right? And so, one of the things I like to do, right, is to validate whether people want something. So I'll go into a Facebook group and I'll just post something like, hey guys, I know a lot of you guys are, your businesses have no revenue right now. Is anyone open to, exploring online marketing through, say, TikTok, and just a question, right? We're not pushing anything, just trying to validate whether people are interested. And people will like comment, like, oh yeah, yeah, me, or they'll PM me or something. Oh yeah, that's free lead generation there using COVID-19, right? There are people out there. Um, of course, there are some people like these internet marketers where they're selling some ebook or some training where they mass market this thing with very high advertising budget. I was just talking to one of them who got like 7,000 people into his live stream. He spent like 20,000 ringgit, 20,000 bucks, sorry, uh, to get 7,000 people into his live stream to sell a 99 ringgit training course, right? So to me, I just found the ads so annoying. Like, oh, this guy just keeps coming out, and it's not just on Facebook. It's like on Instagram. After I block Instagram, he comes out on YouTube. It's like, wow, there's no end to this, right? But a lot of people wanted his stuff. Like, there are a lot of people who joined the stream, and surprisingly, a lot of people stayed, right? And so I learned a few things. Well, first of all, in his stream, it was almost 2 hours long, right? Uh, so okay, that's long, right? And people actually say so. He was giving out free iPads at the start, or is it at the end? I can't remember. He had a bait to keep people in there. I don't recommend you do that, but you can try if you think it works. But definitely COVID-19 is really hurting a lot of people, and there are a lot of people who genuinely need solutions. Really, like there's a lot of retail out there that are not able to sell anything. Like I have a friend selling shoes. That's why I keep using the example of shoes. She has like 15 or is it 12 retail outlets in all the malls in Malaysia, and all the malls are shut down right now, right? Zero revenue, hundreds of employees, rent, right? She's burning like $500,000 every month, and she has zero. Like there's no way you can survive, right? And how do you fix this? Oh, you got to take a loan, right? Like, wow, I'm going to take a loan to pay off my costs for, we don't even know how long this is going to last. So I'm getting into deeper debt. So she's in desperate need for online marketing, right? And she sells shoes, which is a big problem. How do I sell shoes online, right? It's not easy to sell shoes. And oh, my friend is in this thing. Okay, yeah. How do you sell shoes online when people need to measure their size? And so people who provide solutions to these companies actually could get sales through that. And there are a lot of people who need help in this area right now. Yeah.
Right.
News is great
Okay.
because news brings a lot of credibility. And news platforms. What is news, right? If you really ask the question, what is news? News is generally a piece of article, right, that is written from an angle where you inform people. It's written from an unbiased journalistic standpoint to inform people about what's going on, right? And so by right, news is supposed to uphold a few values, right? One of it is it has to be true. Number two, it has to inform, it has to be unbiased. And so why people sort of trust news is because it's not biased to a certain angle, and it's just supposed to be there to inform, right? Media has sort of changed recently because a lot of the news companies are losing money because Facebook has taken all their ad revenue. But news is a great way to build credibility, and I think it's very good for search. So, for example, if you're selling shoes, right, and you have a certain brand, you can go reach out to news. Oh, you can reach out to me. We run a few news companies. You can reach out to Vulcan Post or whatever. Like even I think Renee is running sort of a news platform. There are a lot of news companies. Reach out to them. News companies don't have as much traffic as you would expect unless they're mainstream news like Channel News Asia, but they are busy covering politics and the COVID-19. So the likelihood of them covering your shoe is very low, right? So you can find smaller news companies like Vulcan Post or there are a lot out there, and get them to cover. Why is that good? Because when people do search for you, you come out, right? And it's news of you, which brings credibility. I mean, if let's say you're trying to sell something online, I'm doing training, and then you join this, you post in this Facebook group. Oh, I'm teaching this, and someone's like, okay, who's this person? Who's this Rene? And they Google Rene, right? Obviously, what comes out in the first few, results will be her website, and then after that, it's news, right? News companies, maybe E27, Tech in Asia, or whatever. And so you won't get a burst of traffic immediately, but you will definitely get discovered, right? And ultimately, you want to invest time into things where you work once, but you get a lot of value long term. Right? News is one of them where they write about you once, and and it's out there, right? Someone might stumble upon it. You don't have to worry about whether people stumble upon it. So, aside from news, right? Speaking on the topic of trying to put yourself out there everywhere, just go register for every online social network and put your profile there, right? Keep a consistent profile. So maybe like register on Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever. Put your profile on every one of these sites. So there might be, on a daily basis, maybe 5 or 6 people might land on your profile. Chances are one of them might want what you have, right? And you're not spending any money on this. You're just putting a little bit of time, right? It could be done through your phone on a toilet break, right? So you can actually save a lot of time getting exposure. Yeah. Oh yeah, and I see your comment. You buy shoes online and they fit. Yeah, it's like right now more people are willing to spend online. I think COVID-19, if you ask me in terms of opinion on it, COVID-19 has accelerated digital spending, right? Aside from, of course, all the problems and everyone has to move online, but right now, people, like last time, people are skeptical about using their credit card online. Oh, I don't trust this website. Now, if you don't buy food online, you don't get to eat. It's just that simple. No Grab food, no dinner. So you have to use credit card, right? And the inclination for people to spend online now is higher. They understand how it works. They understand how digital payments are great, and so it's even better to sell stuff online now. Yeah. But I think
Okay.
we're out of time. Yeah.
Right. I also keyed in a point. Do share the types of topics you'd like to hear from us in the future. I know there are a few people who came in really late, like after 1 p.m. It's supposed to end by 1 p.m., but it was okay. It's an engaging session. So, but it's not the end yet. There's an opportunity for you guys to network after this session as well. Okay, so just wanted to share a few things, announcement before we head into our networking session. Thank you so much once again, all of you, for attending this today's session together with Kenneth. Kenneth, thank you so much for sharing great insights with us. We really appreciate that. You guys, please share the type of topics you'd like to hear from us in the future as well. Okay, so in a nutshell, today we have learned quite a number of tips and strategies from Kenneth himself, and also some of the basics of digital content marketing. I hope it has been useful for all of you. I hope it has been. And what's upcoming, right? So we're going to do this bi-monthly. So on 7th of May, that's in the next 2 weeks, we're going to talk about marketing automation and social analytics strategies. And on the 21st of May, we're going to talk about omni-channel marketing strategies as well, and so on and so forth. So please key in some of the topics that you would be interested in so that we could cater to your needs. Just wanted to share with you that on the 17th and 18th of June, we're going to hold a virtual Asia Summit. It is going to be a regional platform where we're going to harness the transformation during adversity for SMEs through holistic development. We're going to cover a few key sessions which are important, like e-entertainment, the future of work, retail e-commerce, investment financing strategies, business digital transformation, supply chain logistics and manufacturing, and many others, right? So feel free to join us. We've got freemium passes and of course premium passes if you would like more functions to network. You've got a chance to get into our entrepreneurship development program as well, and so on and so forth. So we've confirmed a number of speakers, but there will be more to come. So we've got Yo Chen Chow, the co-founder of Faith. So you get to see his live stream then. Jeffrey Payne from Golden Gate Ventures, Asmi, CEO of SME Corp, Aditi from V Resorts India, and many, many more will come later. So I'm gonna update you guys as we go along. And do stay in touch. Even after this, when you break out into the networking sessions, you know, if you have any questions after that, feel free to get in touch. We've got a Telegram channel set up as well. So look for #Asia. Just look for #Asia. Let's keep in touch there and yeah, continuously connect and educate, okay, each other. And we've got our HR Entrepreneur, that's the so-called news platform that Ken was sharing just now. So this is our omni-channel media platform where we inspire, educate, empower, and also connect entrepreneurs, leaders, government, and investors across Asia. So do like our page to receive updates, okay? So right now, what we're gonna do, okay, is to network. So how do we network? Okay, for those of you who are new to this, oh, okay. Somebody said this is public holiday in Singapore. Will there be a webinar? Whether public holiday or not, I believe you guys are still at home, right? Are you gonna go out on a public holiday? Let me know because to me, no difference. Okay, Saturday, Sunday, we're still like at home, and yeah, no difference. So unless you guys are gonna be somewhere else and it's not a good date, then I'll reconsider. Okay, let me know. Thank you for your comment here. Okay, so feel free to type in some of the topics that you'd like to hear from us on the subsequent weeks so that we can curate it for you. Okay, so right now I see a lot of people who came in late, like 1 p.m. onwards, so you didn't get a chance to introduce yourself and you know, this is the chance, right, where you get to network. So regularly we hold live networking sessions, right? LearnXNetwork, that is what it's for. But now that we can't do it live, we're going to do it virtually. But first of all, remember to rename, okay? Ensure that you have your name, right? So that people could address you by your name and not, okay, we still have people who are trying to admit into this room. Definitely. Okay, so I'm just going to let them enter at this moment. Okay, so make sure you kind of you know, have your name, and if you would like, you can include your contact details or your trade as well, right? There's no hard and fast rule. So what's going to happen is that we're going to break out into rooms. It's also my first time experimenting. Okay, so Kenneth, you'll be in one room and I'll be in another. So we kind of moderate in our room. So everybody would get to introduce themselves, your name, what you do, your trade, okay, that is, and who you would like to connect with in your business. Whether or not you're in business or you're in a role that you do, you're in a corporate, you know, who you would like to connect with. And let's see within, you know, our community, if there's anyone that we can collaborate with, work with in the long haul, or things like that. Okay, so that is the purpose. And how long is it going to be? So each person will have about, let's give you 50 seconds, okay? 50 seconds. So we could time it. So moderator, we'll time it, and then 50 seconds to introduce yourself, what you do, and who you like to connect with, okay? And we'll move on to the next person, and then the next person. And then after which we're done. Okay, how many of us now? We've got about 20 of us. Okay, 19, 20 of us, so maybe into two rooms, so 10, 10 each. So it's gonna take quite fast, or 1 minute can extend to 1 minute, okay, maybe kind of 1 minute. And then after which we can have a chat if we have any questions and things like that. Okay, so it's great that you guys mentioned that you understand more about it. I hope it's useful. Some of you, I know you gotta go prepare lunch. Maybe drop in the chat, you know, how do you think this has been useful for your business? Is this good for you? What you'd like to hear from us next? Or if anyone would like to share over here before we have the breakout session, anyone would like to just share, give your comments over here, how you have benefited from today's session, please feel free. Come on, unmute yourself. Okay, we've got a comment from Renelle. Renelle, would you like to share? Like how you've benefited, and do you think this is useful for your business and how you could apply? Yeah, hi.
Hi. Yes, it's really very valuable because I did realize that all the while my content is always selling my product. I'm selling my product. And that I got to learn from Ken that, yeah, I should be looking at the value. What value do I bring to my customer? What can I do to benefit them? And not just me selling my service. So I really got that. And I'm going to relook at all my marketing programs.
That's great,
So
Ronelle.
much.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Who else would like to share? Who else would like to share? One more person? Anyone? Yep. Thank you so much, Jasmine. Yep, understand some of you gotta go prepare lunch. Who else has been around? Jasmine? Sir Jasmine? Okay, hi Jasmine. Would you like to share with us? Oh, okay. I think she, at the same time, she has left. Anyone? No? Okay, so, okay, shall we just,
Actually,
oh,
can
Ronald.
I?
Okay, hi, Ronald. Yes, Ronald.
Yeah, I think Ken just now mentioned a point about because I'm in the line of insurance, about how to actually, the point that he pointed out, that actually there are things that everybody needs, but sometimes people don't know about the product itself or how it actually adds value to them. And education is a point that is very important, because there's tons of insurance related product, including into the general insurance, the corporate one, which is my line of work. That a lot of people don't know what is what and how actually it helps. Then the education part may be lacking. So his part about digital content, about bringing more awareness on how they can better protect and what are the things available, actually helped me a lot. I'd like to thank him for that.
That's good.
Thank you for the
Thanks,
kind
Ronald, for sharing. Yeah. Okay. I think we can just do it here within this room. I think there's no need to split. Okay, maybe just a few of us.
a small crowd, so it's cool. Yeah.
I think some of your friends join in and for a short while just to hear you speak. Right? And
Yeah.
they left after.
So yeah. Sorry about that.
Okay, somebody say, could you share the US guy you mentioned how he uses? Okay, I think that is Neil Patel. Neil Patel. Neil Patel, right? Neilpatel. Okay, so all right. Okay, I see Enlina here. Enlina, let's do our networking here. So Enlina, do share with us a little bit more about yourself. What you do?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you see me? Oh,
I
yeah.
know I see your background, but not you.
Yeah. I'm not sure
Wow.
how come. Yeah, I'm not sure how come
I
it's
see
not
the
there.
stats. Okay.
Maybe I skip first. I do up this first.
No worries, you can talk. It's all right. Yeah.
Okay. I'm a health educator. Yeah, I help people by starting them with a healthy breakfast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. What sort of people are you looking at connecting?
I'm looking at
with?
people, anybody in fact, from baby to adults, people who are pregnant, sick, anybody who are health conscious, who skip their meals, anybody. Yeah. So especially during this period of time. Yeah.
Oh, okay. How is this session? Is this session useful for you and your business?
In fact, I joined quite late, almost at 1 o'clock. Yeah, but I heard that Ken mentioned that a lot of time people just sell. So we have to give values to others, so that then we can retain our crowds. So when when we do sales on a later time, at least we have the leads, we have the people, we gain their trust. That's what I gather from his sharing. So we have to give first, give people values first.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you.
I think one of the things as well, just a point to add, is that try to sell one idea, not 10 ideas, because people can't remember what you sell sometimes, right? If you sell 5 different health products, I might not know which is it, or which I should buy. So maybe work on like startups like to call this an elevator pitch, right? Maybe work with an elevator pitch, like, yeah. Yeah, something along those lines.
So focus on one, right? Focus on one first.
One outcome, right? Not so much of one product, like focus on the outcome. So like when someone asks you like, what do you do? Oh, I sell insurance. There is no emotional attachment to that statement. It's like you're just replying because I asked a question, right? But if let's say I ask you like, what do you do? And it's like, oh, a lot of people now, okay, let's say in your case, like meal replacement, right? A lot of people now are too busy to work out. Yeah, I sell I sell products that can help them save time with losing weight while working out, whatever. Like the outcome is more important.
I
So
see.
then they
Okay.
be like, oh, okay, what is this? Now there's interest. That's lead generation for you, right? That's intent. So then you say, oh, we have this product. You drink it, then you lose weight. Cool. Everyone might be interested to buy it.
Attached with some emotion.
Yeah, one idea.
Create the needs.
One idea and one outcome. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Anyone else would like to introduce yourself if you haven't, if you missed the first? Oh, Kelvin, you unmuted yourself? Yep. Yep.
Right, guys. So just like Ronald, I'm in the insurance industry. Right. So leading a team now. So a reason why I asked about YouTube earlier is that the next step for my business is to predominantly use videos more for value adding, more for educating the public as well. And I've done it previously on LinkedIn, on Facebook. So moving ahead, I was thinking whether if YouTube will be a better channel or not. If let's say predominantly I'll be using videos as a source to value add the general public. So question is, should I stick on to Facebook or should I probably move on to have a YouTube channel or educating people on the aspect of insurance?
I think it's good to, every decision you make should be data driven, right? So if Facebook isn't working for you, then why, right? Why is it not working for you? What does the data show, right? I mean, there's no harm in signing up for YouTube and putting your content there. I mean, I think that's good. You just like put your content everywhere. That should be something that we do all the time. But if you're going to double down on a platform, right? Like I'm going to spend all my time building my following on YouTube, right? Then the question is why, right? For Facebook, why would you want to leave Facebook? Oh, no one is buying my product. Okay, why? We're going to dive deep enough with data to understand, oh, a lot of people click it, but no one wants to buy it. So it means people are interested, but they are dropping off at the part where you tell them what it is. So maybe that's where you got to find out where they're dropping off. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I'm a believer of multi-channel or omni-channel marketing. So your same content can go in different places. So you sell insurance. Is it more personal or corporate insurance, may I ask?
In fact, we do both, but for myself, I'm focusing more on the personal now.
Okay, so if you sell both, for example, if it's personal, of course, places like Facebook would work. But if you sell corporate, then you got to be also, be present in LinkedIn. So it doesn't harm if you also showcase the same content on YouTube and also the same content on your website, your blog, right? You want it to be on as many channels as possible. Then after a period of time, look at the results. So be data driven. What Kenneth said is to look at how many people you manage to reach with that kind of consistent production of content, right? So eventually you want to be seen as the thought leader, not like, oh, just another insurance agent, right? We don't want to sell ourselves as, oh, yet another service provider. We want to be like the thought leader in our space. So you got to build a lot on, especially for agents, you got to build a lot on their personal branding.
Yep.
Okay, so in your case, is that personal brand equity? How can we increase that equity? Why should people trust you? There's so many agents, just like there's so many shoe brands. Why you? So I think you've got to build that credentials so you can try the multiple channels and see what works. But between YouTube and Facebook, I feel because Facebook, you have your connections there. That should work. That should work better than YouTube. YouTube will be people, random people, they search and they're able to find you, and they follow your channel if they really like you. Yeah, that takes a while, right? But Facebook should be immediate. Yeah.
For you, maybe you can localize the content to Malaysia only. So like use keywords like Malaysia insurance differences, or maybe how if you have, I don't know what they call it in insurance, if you have like downline or people under you, maybe you can create videos on how to effectively sell insurance more, in today's world, educational stuff. I think the main problem with insurance industry right now, to my knowledge, is that technically you're in the business of care, right? But most insurance sellers don't care. So you have to, what you're really selling is I'm going to protect you, I'm going to care for you, I'm going to take care of you, right? And so maybe selling insurance is not the start, right? Maybe helping them with what they need is the start. So I realized the people who do very well in insurance, one of my friends is like a financial planner, right? So she sells investment links. When she meets people, she doesn't say she sells insurance. She will just tell them that, I basically try to help people with their businesses in areas like if they need to get sales or anything. So people will tell them, tell her like, I'm running a car workshop, okay, hey, she'll just ask a lot of questions about the guy, like, how does it work? What is your car workshop a lot about? And then she will find a way to help that guy. Like, since let's say they service Toyota, she'll find a friend who has a Toyota car and recommend it to him. Hey, by the way, my friend has a car. She's looking for servicing, so I recommended you. Can I pass her your contact, right? And so she does that first. And then the guy is like, oh, thanks so much. Yeah. And then by the way, if you know anyone, this is a very good strategy. If you know anyone who is looking to invest in, above FD returns, let me know, right? I mean, everyone wants to invest in something above FD returns, so they get interested in this package thing. Then, okay, they say, oh yeah, I'm interested. He will probably say he's interested, not his friend, right? And then she will find out even more like, okay, what are you investing in now? So I think part of insurance selling or any sales is you are always a consultant. You are finding out what people want. You need ammunition, right? You need bullets. You need to know their problem first. What do they struggle in? And then target that problem. So once you find out, he's only investing in FD, he's running this business, he really has no time, okay, then maybe your angle is, hey, would you be interested in something where you don't have to manage it? It gives you more return than FD and the commitment is not very high. I have something, if you're free next week, we talk about it, right? And then you schedule a time, and then that's when he's ready to buy, right? He's ready to listen. Most of the time, people are not ready to listen.
Okay, I understand.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, Kelvin. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, last one. Anyone wants to intro or have any last question? Yeah.
Probably if there's none, can I ask one more follow-up questions on this? Yep. Okay. So just thinking also, all right. Okay, I used to have my organization on my website, right? But looking ahead, okay. So but I wanted something which is more dynamic. Website is more static, generally. So okay, does it make sense to spend a lot of time doing a website whereby the content is more static? It's more like a white elephant, compared to spending more resources on more dynamic contents like Facebook, like YouTube. I mean, it's always a struggle. If let's say I only have X dollars, should I spend it on my website or should I spend it on Facebook or YouTube, for example?
When you say dollars, meaning advertising dollars, or?
It can be anything. Let's say a fixed budget, let's say a few $1,000s to develop a website, all right, compared to doing it for something else.
Yeah, again, I think it's good to work backwards. Like why do you want a website? What's the purpose of the website? Is it to collect leads? Is it to do advertising? Is it to brand yourself, right? Maybe you don't need a website. Maybe you just need a Facebook page. It's free, right? So it really depends on what you want to achieve. Of course, many people feel that they need a website because they got brand, got domain name, all that kind of stuff. But is it necessary? Because you're adding one more layer of maintenance, right? You're adding one more worry to your life. Now I need to update the website. So you have to pick the areas to focus on. Focus is very important, I feel. There is this article by Mark Manson. This guy used to be a dating coach. He talks about 80-20, how to 80-20 your life, right? Focus on 20% of the stuff that bring 80% of the returns and stop everything else, right? Because you need time to think. Many people, they get so caught up in the dive of like, oh, I need to work, I need to do this, I need to sell, I need to meet client, and we forget to think. And then all of a sudden, now there's this, circuit breaker. We realize that, a lot of things are not done right because we have so much time to think and reevaluate what we're doing. So I think that's very important. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
And also importantly is how you want to build your credibility and also depending on the products and services that you're selling, each one is selling, right? For certain types of trades, if they don't have a website, it's okay, and they're selling like hotcakes on Facebook. Say for example, right, even how we go and buy fish, right, in the wet market is now done very differently. So imagine they're going to close down all these wet markets. You can no longer go to the wet markets. What are you going to do? You still want fresh produce. You want fresh seafood and fish. Where do you go to? So, there's some interesting and very creative fishmongers out there. They leverage on Facebook. And what do? Social selling, right? So it's social selling just on Facebook. And every day at a certain time, live, they're going to showcase their stocks, their seafood stocks, and they show you how fresh it is. You just order from them or you can bid. And after which they just, wrap it up for you and deliver right to your doorstep. They don't even need a website. That is their only channel. And everyone's so engaged. At a certain time, everyone just goes there and see, oh, which is the freshest? And I'm going to get this one and bid for this price. I get that delivered to my house. That's fresh seafood for me. So it really depends on, your end in mind, your end goal, and where you want to build your credibility, right? Yeah. Hope that answers your question. And anyone else? Last one? Would like to introduce yourself and, you have a question or anything? If not, thank you very much for joining us today. Greatly appreciate it. And to reconvene with everyone, do join us in our Telegram channel, #Asia, HASHASIA, as per the chat group. It's also on your email, your EDM, where you receive that link to join the this Zoom, right? It's also in there, the Telegram chat. So join in and then we could reconvene again. All right. Thank you so much, all of you, and hope to see you again soon. Take care. Next session is on the 7th of May. Thank you. Bye-bye.